It is a world of darkness. The sin of Cain has spawned the cursed horror that stalks the night in search of living blood. The kindred have long been a secret influence through all ages of human history, plotting against each other in a never-ending jihad. Their immortal progeny are among us to this day, hidden from the eyes of humanity by an elaborate masquerade.
want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Yeah, we ran out of patience. Boil up with the cold hard hatred. I can feel the vibration. Beat in the streets, it's a new sensation. I wanna break faces on the pavement. I wanna make greatness look complacent. Adrenaline awakened, I can taste it. We can make an impact, grab and then take it. Like a disease, bring them to their knees. They fit their disease. Just like a weed, spread into the streets. Time to make them bleed. 'Cause we just want retribution. Let's go light up the darkness. Make true of an empty promise. Flip gods into weak and harmless. Take to the streets and turn them to a mosh pit. 'Cause we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution. Oh yeah, we want retribution.
Burn it at both ends. I like the fire causing mayhem. I'm not tired, I've been waiting. I'm not forsaken. I'm my own and I'm jaded. Energy comes from my hatred. Call me the villain, cause I be killing. I got no feeling, I've been dealing with all my demons. I like to feed them, they be chilling. Yeah, they be screaming. I can hear them in my mind. They just wanna find any fight, any reason. There ain't no place too high. All your fears are like.
Do we have to say, Jerome, remember to turn yours on?
No, of course not. So there we go. We are live. We are back. Once again, yes, you can see faces now, Davy Jones. Let me close that out. There we go. And we have one more in tow who should be showing up soon. Just kind of got off to a late start. So we are back. For those of you who may have been watching the last vampire game, a lot has happened both in that game and behind the scenes. Obviously, in regards to keeping the masquerade, arrangements trying to be made, as well as some issues are trying to get resolved still. Some of that's carrying over into today's game. So we'll go ahead and get started. Dale, of course, will be joining us a little bit later. We'll probably start with you, Sophie, since you're playing Sophie this game. Did you want to call for a meeting? Because I know one of the things you were trying to get resolved, and you'll probably need to, call to make that appointment.
You know what? First of all, we need to figure out a different place to meet than Anzio's. So,
That's a good idea. Right now, you clearly don't have anything ready, but there's nothing saying that you can't wing it. You could always still go to the Drachenflugel.
I guess that's true. We can use that as a meeting point until we figure out someplace better.
Yeah.
This is only the second day, correct, Jerome? 24 hours?
At this point, we're going to say 48 hours has passed.
Okay. So, yeah,
Just to
we
give
wouldn't have had
everybody a
enough
chance
time
to-
to make another arrangement. That's what I wanted to know.
What's that?
That wouldn't give us enough time to make another arrangement because we've done very little besides some heavy discussion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think what we need to do in order, really, we just need to go through, yay, we have a deal. we need
Yay,
to
hi,
go
Dale.
through the list of places in town and just decide on something that's going to be strategically convenient and also not too hard to command, I guess, and then or secure, perhaps, even if it's like an empty part of town. Um,
Why
Anyway,
don't we
I
see
need
if
to
we
go through
can't
the
rent a
list.
warehouse temporarily? Temporary office space or a warehouse.
Yeah, that could work. That could work. Um, Sophie has an office too. I guess we could meet there in a pinch. Actually, why don't we do that? Why don't we? So I will send out an invitation for everyone to meet at Sophie's office, which is kind of near. Actually, Jerome, I don't remember where it is.
You actually placed it downtown.
I figured it was downtown, but I don't remember what all else is nearby.
It's, if I remember correctly, because kind of what you were leaning for at the time, it's probably within a stone's throw of the media center where Century Media was set up.
Is the recording studio near there too?
Oh yeah,
All right.
because
Yes,
that would make sense, because that was where all that revitalization was going, and that was around the time that you were getting involved with business management.
true. Okay. So, so she'll say, "Let's meet at my office. Here's the address."
Okay, well, we will do that then. Everybody got the message sent out. Ben, you also got a text. Came a couple hours after you had sent that one to Detective Rumbus, and he told you in text, quite frankly, yes, he was dealing with a homicide at that point.
Okay.
Or alleged homicide.
Okay.
So he was on a crime scene and was very busy at that point.
Okay. Does he say when he'd be available to meet at Pantheon?
Oh yeah, I mean he can meet tonight if necessary.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, first I'll go to where the Baron has said we're meeting. So
Okay.
meet there first.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, Lily, since Lily stayed with them, she'd be going with them.
Sounds good. So the area of town you guys are traveling to is a more remodeled section of town. They have obviously taken down older buildings that may have used to be in the area, revamped it, and in fact, Century Media Studios and that whole movie lot, small movie lot and whatnot, is like a block and a half over from here. So all the the trees here are all well landscaped. This is a new little office park. Probably only been around for the past maybe 2.5, 3 years or so. So it's still got kind of a new look and feel to it. The parking lot connected to it obviously doesn't have like any potholes or anything, obtrusive. It is well lit because it is, of course, an office park, and the building you guys are going to is actually primed. It's one of the corner pieces. There's basically two buildings here to this office park, one going kind of in a northward, one going in a southward direction. The one going in the southward direction, right at the very front corner, is the studio that you have been directed to show up at.
Okay. Revis will make his way there. And
What did you name
Jerome,
the studio, Sophie?
nice lace cuffs.
Okay.
Revis changing the tire is traditional black lace.
Okay.
Red Briar is the name.
Red Briar. Okay. So very true to many offices with like sound studios and whatnot. It is very nondescript with the exception of like the sign, because they tend to blend in when you get them in office parks like this. So you see the Red Briar sign out front at the corner, but otherwise blends in really well with the rest of the office park.
Outside cameras?
None that you see initially, but it's presumed that they're here. Yeah.
Okay. Go on in.
Okay. So
Yeah, same part.
as everybody eventually comes in, there's a secretary up front who doesn't know any of you from Kane, but she just assumed. She's like, "Oh, you must be here to see Miss Lower. Just let me buzz you into the back," and presses a little button. You get the magnetic door release, to let everybody eventually into the back.
I socialized for a couple of minutes. Get
Okay.
to know her name.
So Lily shows up with Ben. She does not look anything like herself. She's got a wig on,
Okay.
and she doesn't know whose cap it is, but she found somebody's cap at the Haven. She looks more Bruja than she ever does Tremere.
Awesome.
Gotcha.
And if
Some
she,
couples dress like each other.
Now we have to have a name. That's
Yeah, or the new Benifer, but something else.
yeah.
Billy.
Really.
and
There
if,
you go.
Really?
if she shows up in like hat and sunglasses like Shelley's wearing, then I assume the secretary would be like, "Oh, she's a celebrity trying to stay on the down low."
Probably, but you've let her know that some people are coming, so she doesn't think much of it. You guys get people like that sometimes into the studio for recording purposes, just so that they can do whatever it is they need to do without getting blitzed by media for any reason. So she's chill with it. It's no biggie.
Nice. Cool.
So when you get into where Sophie is at, Sophie is in the office space. It's got a nice long conference table in here. Can probably seat up to about 10 people. It has obviously video conferencing that can be set up, as well as those conference phones that you see like in the very middle of the table.
Nice setup.
It's been a work in progress.
Well, good progress. Yeah, this is probably going to be a lot easier than Anzia's. You don't have to deal with making sure we're fine around customers. That's nice.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the same refreshment potential, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
And no exercise room for frustration easing.
Yes, please do not break anything in the studio.
I'll
Right.
try and make sure I stroll outside and pound the concrete for a while next time.
Much obliged. So first order of business. Thanks to a generous contribution from Remus and from Miss Trudy, I believe we are finished amassing the sum that we owe the CAM. And so if there are no objections, I think we ought to seal that deal and get them out of our hair, because if we have that money burning a hole in our pocket, we're going to keep spending it. So
Let's do it. Sooner the better.
any objections? No?
I can't think of anything that's, I agree with getting it out of our hands quickly. Because the longer that people realize we have that amassed, the larger the opportunity for someone to go,
Exactly.
gee.
That too. So then I will go ahead and text, what's his bucket? Alistair,
Okay, Alistair, yeah.
and ask him to come meet us here for finalization of negotiations.
Okay. He sends a text back letting you know that he will be there momentarily. Give him maybe 20 minutes.
Okay. In the meantime, Lily, this is a good start for you. How are things for you?
Fine.
No, not feeling any heat?
No more than usual.
Okay,
Just staying out of sight.
good. Anyone else have business that we need to go over today?
Speaking of heat here, I'm going to be talking to Detective Rumbus after we're done meeting here at Pantheon. And I'm going to see about solidifying my connection with the Ashland PD. See if I can make him my ghoul.
Make it official.
Yeah.
So that will, I know some people have mixed feelings about that, but honestly, in the security of the city, I think it's paramount that we have some kind of arrangement. So that will definitely make things a lot easier. I'm still in the process of drafting up a list of the certain parameters that we're going to need to make sure we secure around the city. In the spirit of keeping a better hold on things here so that we aren't taken by surprise as frequently, hopefully at all, but you know, this is Ashland. Things happen, but once I get a list drafted up, I'm going to depend on all of you to help me revise that till we come to some sort of agreement that we all approve. So that's all I have today, aside from when Alistair gets here.
Jerome, out of game, did I get a response back on coming up with a second witness? You said it was going to take better part of 48 hours on that.
Good question. You would have. Remind me again what the second witness was supposed to be doing.
It was just someone who was present and who supposedly would have been able to say they saw the girl's drug transaction.
Ah, gotcha. Okay.
We were looking for a second verification on what we were going to push.
So you could have. They would have tried to get somebody who was there that night.
Mm-hmm.
You're probably not all that confident on the scrutiny it's going to withstand, but I mean, yeah, you could get somebody to say, yeah, I saw that too.
Okay. So we can have a second witness. It probably won't take anything in the way of heavy scrutiny. Did we do the mind meld, so to speak, with the people we wanted to get the result? Or do I need to try and put something else out there to give it support?
Yeah, we already interviewed and suggested to somebody that they saw something different than was actually there.
Yeah.
So we're content with that at this point. That's the question.
I mean, the more witnesses we've got to corroborate, the better our story is. So if you've still got something in the works, then keep doing that.
Okay. I'll let it go forward, Jerome.
Okay. So presumably then, you just send the text. They'll give you a thumbs up, and they'll find a way to get that in play so that the investigating officers have, they loop back in with them.
Okay. All right. Second witness is in play.
Excellent. Great.
Now, do we have a count on the number of gang-like activities, or I should say gang entities in town?
Well, we know of the Sanguine Tears, and they work with that.
The cartel, yeah.
Exactly. There's the main players, but it seems like they, do a lot of their stuff in Medford. Surprise, surprise! It has to deal with drugs, and that's how that town works.
Do you know about the motorcycle gang that travels through here as a waypoint to their other places?
Which gang?
Isn't that the
Jagged
one?
Guardians?
Is that the one the Angels a part of?
He was in the Southside Souls.
Oh,
Southside Souls is separate from Jagged Guardians.
okay. Are they a
Haven't heard of
problem?
them.
Sophie would
Not
remember
at this
the Jagged
point. I'm
Guardians.
just touching base with what I've been looking into
Oh, yes.
opportunities to stabilize some of those activities. This is what I'm coming up with.
I did make a potential contact with one of the Jagged Guardians, but as yet untapped.
And the other one is the Southside Souls.
Still have some work to do before I think I can call on that one.
Okay.
Are the Jagged Guardians, are they violent, or are they just a motorcycle club?
This is a waypoint for them between Portland and California.
Makes sense.
I thought they might be useful in getting some extra eyes on Portland, but now that we've sort of solved that one without their help, I mean, it could be useful just for extra eyes once the cam moves in up north. I guess we'll see.
Yeah, having an eye on them won't be a bad thing necessarily.
Okay, I've got Jagged Guardians and Southside Souls are two of the entities I was going to look at as far as the street was concerned. Neither one is directly tied to the Giovanni at this point, to the best of my knowledge.
All right. Good deal. Do we want to have specific anarchs trying to get our hands in and our ears and eyes in different areas of the city? Like, it seems like I'm the one who's focusing on the PD. And right now, looks like
Yes.
Rebus is looking into gang activity, any criminal enterprises or whatever.
Yes, that's definitely part of the plan. I have contacts in the political sphere, but there are definitely, I mean, if we could get somebody at the hospital or the morgue, that would be really helpful.
Doesn't that, I forget her name, the one who had the zombie virus, isn't she involved in that in some way?
Dahlia. I'm not quite sure.
Medicine?
I
She's
thought we
some-
did,
Not
She's
that I'm
some kind of scientist, from what I understand.
I thought we did have a contact on the morgue. Was it Giovanni, right?
It was
Yeah, I mean, if we could have non-Giovanni contacts in places, that's the goal, right? We don't want to keep hanging out with old Uncle G bailing us out of our problems.
Remus, you have contacts with the medical since you're opening up a blood bank, do you not?
Jerome, what's the status on the blood bank? Is it? I know we haven't talked about it in a minute, but
Yeah, well, it is. It actually just officially opened, so they're in the process of getting donors and getting that squared away.
okay.
So it's an operation for your purposes, like for the players' purposes or whatnot. I'd give it another month, and it should be ready to go to basically produce something for you guys.
Okay.
we
But
could-
but I do also want it to function as like a legit blood
Right,
bank. That's
that's
like,
why.
yeah.
Yeah. basically
Okay.
you're building up the stores at this point. It's going to be an
Okay.
operation. It has to, pay for itself. I already assumed that was the angle you're going with, but you have to
Yeah.
also give them time to build up stores so that way
Mhm.
it will support you guys as well as the population without seeming sketchy.
Oh yeah. It's just I wanted to make sure that that this was going to be because I think even as much as like Remus would be like, oh, it'd be nice to have like a steady supply of blood. I think that his primary concern would be that like this is a functioning, working, like
Yeah.
that this helps people in the city, especially because a lot of bad things. There's a lot of strange things in this neighborhood.
Yes.
Um, but
Like the people might also actually need help.
yeah, who
Yeah,
would have thought?
wow.
But yeah, but so
Yeah.
I'll say uh, because I imagine because we just opened, we don't really have any contacts with the hospitals, but that would be something that we would be trying to make connections with, or or do we already have like do we need? I don't know. I've never run a blood bank before.
You don't have any official ties to the hospitals as of this point.
Okay, but once I have more like once the
It's not
stores.
impossible.
Okay,
And in a pinch, they would network with a hospital, but again, it's just getting an operation. So
okay.
there are some stages to this that will eventually benefit you. You just got to give it time to be in operation. Is all.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to know like what to because I wasn't sure if we needed to be connected with the hospital already
Oh
to
no,
even just be open.
nope,
Okay.
nope.
Um. Oh yeah. So Remus will say, like I don't really have connections in the hospitals yet. My my blood bank just barely opened. Hopefully, we'll be able to make some connections and start getting the supply to some hospitals soon, and then maybe that'll allow me some inroads to um, you know, possibly getting us some help in the hospitals, but that's still early days, I think.
So you're looking at to build that organically.
I wanted to, this is probably going to sound weird, but I want it to be helpful to people first and then us as a byproduct. I don't want this to just be a Capri Sun that we can just drink from
A vampire
indefinitely.
food truck.
Yeah, I want this to be something that actually serves the community so that way people that are in trouble will be able to get some use out of it. If we can get some use out of it, that's just a bonus for me, but I want to run it on the up and up.
I think maybe we ought to have the city throw a block party and invite a uh, blood donation, you know, uh, feature.
Perfect.
That might
Ribbon
be
cutting
nice.
ceremony for its official opening always goes well.
That could go well. Yeah.
That would be nice.
We'll just put a pin in that one then.
Okay.
But yeah, anytime we have some sort of event in town, I'm all for asking for blood donations. That's
That just comes across really wrong at this point. I'm just saying.
I think it's a good look for the community.
I think we could definitely use it as a way to like bolster just like anytime there's an event like you can get a discount on your admission to whatever event if you go
Yeah,
and you donate
that
beforehand
sounds
or
great to me.
yeah I
Ba-
want to
Baron, is there a way to get the mayor to put his stamp of approval on that type of thing, or be
Yeah,
on TV
sure.
and go, "Hey,
Of course.
go to that blood drive"?
Of course, yeah, I could definitely pull that string.
before we do that a quick question regarding the because like the bizarre death that occurred like that hasn't been made public just yet, right? that's not on the news?
Not as far as I know.
Do we want to? Should we get ahead of that and start spinning that to be something like? I don't want this to be something where it benefits the blood bank, but like, should we? Do you have connections with the mayor that or with somebody that we could spin this into? Because I think we'd already talked about this, but like, is it possible to get this as like an outreach to the greater community to not to be more aware of drugs and in if you're healthy to donate blood or do things in order so that way these kind of things don't happen.
We could do that.
I don't know how feasible that is. I'm
I don't know that we have anyone in media to push it.
Well, we do have. Man, I need like a who's who list.
We could make like a Guess Who game with all of the like the characters in this story.
Does your NPC wear glasses? Nope.
Yeah.
Click, 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 click.
Yeah.
Houston Connor, our intrepid Anarch reporter, works for the Anarch Free Press.
Right.
I bet he probably would not object to maybe writing an op-ed or something for the local human paper. We could have him submit something that way. Do you think that would suffice?
Yeah, I just worry that when like if we don't already have like something planned for when the news goes out, it's going to be really hard for us to clean up after it hits the ground.
Well, maybe we could have him submit an op-ed and then have the mayor make a comment on it and do some sort of city initiative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, have the mayor like put up some sort of like some address where they talk about safety at clubs, don't take something from somebody you don't know,
like the DARE program back in school.
Oh no, not dare.
Yay, to say no.
Yeah, well, I mean, if that's the angle we're going to go with, I think if we can have like official things in order to like to kind of solidify the idea that this was like some sort of drug related or like related event, that will also minimize like I think a lot of the people looking and being like, oh, this is like this is weird. I wonder, like, I want to deflect as much as possible. I just don't know how to go about it right now. I just don't have the.
One of the ways probably to deflect it would be to tie it to a prior event that's already solved.
To like a previous murderer or something.
No. Tie it to another drug overdose.
You talking about Cindy's?
No. Well, you could do that. We have a lot of that information, but you're trying to lay the connection and you're worried about it being misdirected. So one of the ways to stop that is to start off by saying the police believe, or there's indications that this is tied to another drug overdose that took place a month ago. You understand what I'm saying? If you slant it to look a particular way and everyone else runs with it, that's all you need. We're already trying to push the drug overdose aspect, tie it to another one that's already been validated.
It's actually a lot of what police departments do too. They try to connect cases so that they can close them quickly. If one dude or one group is responsible for a bunch of crimes, less paperwork.
Is there previous crimes that the cartel has done that we could maybe like link it to?
I could find out.
Yeah,
I don't know if I'd aim it at the cartel so much as their proxy. They'll
Oh
take,
yeah, okay, yeah. The gangs
Yeah.
that are pushing the drugs.
How do you make that connection artificially? Just plant evidence or something?
No, you just need to have someone say, or just have a reporter go. Speculation indicates that it might be connected to a prior overdose. You don't actually have to do anything. You just have to say. And it's speculation. It's the reporter or the news crew or whatever going like, or you can have just someone be interviewed on the street and go like, hey, I heard this was related to another overdose 30 days ago.
Plant the seed in people's minds.
Yep.
It's easy enough.
That'd be a lot easier if we had more control over the local news stations.
Now you're sounding like me, Ben.
You see,
I mean, you rub off on people, you know what I mean? We've had a bunch of meetings, so what can I say?
I don't know that I want to rub off on Ben so much. I have another preference, but that's not relevant today.
yeah, you seem eerily like in your element when it comes to creating this kind of like dissonance. Is this something that you do often?
I'm willing to bet I'm 4 times older than almost everyone in this city.
So he's had experience.
And in times much cruder than today's environment. I can remember Caribbean pirates as an example. So if you're asking if I've had to wade through similar situations and misdirect things, the answer is yes.
You have movies to draw on.
Well, I don't know. I'm hopeful there's no movies. There might be word of mouth.
All right. Well, do we want to start in on that blood drive thing? Is that good to go? Is the blood bank actually ready to handle that type of activity?
I mean, it's open, so I'm assuming Jerome does it. If we were to do a blood drive, like would it be able to kind of like handle the like that amount of people, or should we take it slow?
I'm sorry, what are you asking? I was answering a question in the chat.
Oh no, it's okay. So because we on the topic of like running a blood drive just to kind of like kind of kickstart the operation. If we were to do one, is the blood bank in a situation where they could handle like a bunch of people coming in to donate blood? You know, like is okay, cool.
Yeah,
I wasn't sure if it was
just
like
a matter of you have to. It's not like something you can just go out and say, "Hey, look at what we got here," because you have to make sure you're going to have the staff available at the time that that you're doing it.
Yes.
So,
okay,
and then of course enough time that people can divert whatever it is they're doing, you know, to whatever cause that you're trying to build up to. So yeah. So
okay.
I mean, give it. You could definitely do it within a week.
Okay. Yeah. So Remus will say, you know, given enough prep time, we should be able to handle it. You know, an influx of people for a big blood drive donation thing. Yeah, and if we can also, if we can spin it to be, you know, drugs are bad, then that'll be even better.
If we want to tap the mayor to make some kind of initiative, I just need to basically write up what all I need him to do, and then let him go.
And then Sophie, you end up hearing a buzz in the conference room. Ma'am, there is a very handsome gentleman out here, apparently for you.
Is it my husband?
Yeah, I was gonna say, how many abs? Count the abs.
She says no. His name apparently is Alasdair.
Oh, yes, send him back.
Okay, so she, buzz. You can faintly hear the buzzing of the magnetic door opening as he comes walking through, eventually finding the conference room that everybody is in.
Is he all
He has his. He's looking pretty clean cut. He is in a business suit at this point, looking pretty official.
As he comes in, I'll stand and shake his hand.
Okay. And he shakes your hand as he walks in, and he says, "So I'm hoping for some good news, Baron. And it looks like you've assembled some of your finest."
You remember Alistair? Alistair, everyone? Well, not everyone. Yes, have a seat. And Sophie will go to her desk and grab, I'm thinking she probably put it all in a
$sign bag.
A what?
$sign bag.
Yes.
We're all about the stereotypes here.
Right.
So she'll pull out a briefcase and bring it back into the conference room, and then slide it over and open it up for him.
Okay, and now this is, so you have brought the cash portion, and then you've also brought in the precious stones. The case.
As I recall, they did not want any cash.
So then, what did you convert that over to?
I would also have converted it to gold.
Okay, so precious metals then.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
So everything that the Anarchs had collected, plus the stuff from Trudy and Remus,
Okay.
Purchased gold.
There we go. All right, so he picks that up and looks that over, and hold on a second. There we go.
And I think we would have included an itemized list
That makes sense.
We
Yes.
did that
as well,
Yeah.
because I know we had it from the gems that we
Yes.
bought.
Mm-hmm.
and the understood value.
Yeah, so he looks it over, briefly, and takes the cases and of course the itemized list, and he says, "I got to be honest, I'm pretty surprised you made this portion of it come together so quickly."
Me too, but I'm happy the way that things turned out.
As am I. I'm glad that this is now officially all behind us.
Can I ask if there have been any decisions made on events in Portland?
There have. I think that there's some. I'm not directly involved as of yet, because the well, let's just, without going into too much detail, there's politics involved. It's kind of our way.
You wouldn't understand.
Yeah. So that being said, there are still three main contenders, and I think that they're trying to vie for the position as politely as possible. So when that it has been resolved, I'm sure that all of you will be given a proper invite to whatever social gala they decide to put together, as a way to welcome everyone to the neighborhood.
Excellent. It sounds like it'll be an interesting time.
I am curious though, when the invite goes out, will you be playing again?
You heard about that, did you?
I did, and I apologize. It is a playful jab. I'm certain that was not your finest hour, and as I understand, there were mitigating circumstances floating around, so I would not hold it against you.
Well, I suppose that if they would like me to play, they can ask.
I'm sure we could come up with a suitable supporting entourage.
He says, "Well, very well then," and he's takes both of the cases and leans outside the door to have some of his people come in to take that. He says, "I will send word to Lucinda then, and no offense. Hopefully, this is the last time we meet."
I'll shake his hand again and say, I hope that your stay in Ashland has been a pleasant one, despite circumstances.
It has not been boring.
So that's the best we can do.
Well, so then at that point he shook her hand, just nodded to everybody else, and then exited.
Okay. See, you get to mark something off as cleanly done now.
Thank you, everyone involved in seeing that through.
I don't know if you could pay me enough money to do that again with Trish. That was like someone in the candy store.
Well, good. So what's next?
So who? Remind me. You sold the obsidian for that much, right?
Yes.
The statue, the quasi magical secret repository for
So
infernal creatures from another plane. Yes.
It still had some magical value to it.
I'm
Apparently.
assuming that just because it was empty didn't mean it couldn't be reused.
Yeah, it makes sense. It was used to talk to an angel in another dimension. Like, why not again?
Is that what you told to the buyer? Did they?
Actually, we let him examine it, and Trish, in a rather entrancing outburst, said, "We need 50 million for it." And he just kind of looked at her and went, "Okay, maybe." And we went off and wandered around while he made the maybe look good. So I'm assuming it was worth more to the right buyer.
Interesting. Do you have any other adventures at the market? I know it's kind of a strange place.
I think there were some individual happenings that took place, but I just kind of followed along in Trisha's wake and smooth the occasional circumstance over. So we kept moving.
I do feel that Ben's ghoul, I think that it has something to do with her disappearance.
That the stone does?
No, at the
star?
augury.
Really?
I agree. She made several comments which caught several vendors' attention, notably one of the ones we were dealing with. And she's mortal, and she has certain abilities, and that makes her valuable.
Oh, you know what? Actually, you wanted to go down there and have me look at the store, right? Now might be a good time to do that. We have nothing else pressing today.
Shh. Really, don't do that.
Don't jinx it.
She'll knock on the table.
We have all sorts of very important things to do today. All sorts.
Well, it would make some sense. I mean, yeah, if we've got nothing else pressing right now, we just got that done, so might as well. I have Mr. Vidius looking for with his animal friends right now, but he hasn't gotten back to me on that, so we might as well check. And I've got Doogie with me. He actually like pulls out the hatchet from behind his jacket and is like, this is actually his fetter, so he might be able to do the thing that we did last time and help us with that question that gets us in.
Lee, do the thing.
Oh, I think
we got it last
Sam meant she was wanted to go to
To the store.
yeah, not to the
Pawn
No,
shop,
I-
hun.
I've had my fill of the augury for a while.
All right.
It's a little creepy. There's a lot of potentially dangerous people there.
Well, sure. But yeah, we could head to the store too. That's not a problem. Or, yeah, just that.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, great meeting adjourned, everybody. Yeah, and Ben stands up.
Do I need a gavel or something?
Nah, I think we're good.
Okay.
Do you want me to go with, or do you want me to head back to the Haven?
Jesse's good watching Cindy for now. I'd like you with. You should be out. You don't have to hole yourself into a place and like stay away from the world. And I get to keep an eye on you.
Your favorite pastime.
So Ben,
So Rivas,
I'll go back to something I said a couple of days ago. You probably need to find someone to run the shop and keep it viable.
The club will be fine.
Now, I'm not talking about the club. I'm talking about the pawn shop.
yeah, forfeit here. There's no one there. You know,
Well,
Jim isn't doing anything.
I was just going to say Jim can run it for us.
Yeah, it should be that tough. Yeah,
We're going to need to change the lock since you broke it.
Not that tough. Yeah, spend a few bucks. The cut in the security system's another thing, though. We're gonna have to hire someone for that. Any of you are good with electronics?
No, but I
Um,
can, because my Havens, and
I could.
we could use the company that did mine in Henri's Havens.
That'll work.
I was going to suggest I could call Doug, but if you've got people already, that's probably fine.
All right. So
Rivas
yeah,
says
Baron, if you
people-
want to follow us to the place,
Yeah, because then we can go over there and we can make it look like, we're getting it ready to go back into business and do everything straight up without like trying to make anything look odd. You can put up a sign that says we'll reopen in a couple of days, figure out how many days, and just we'll be open
Just
on
put
so-and-so.
just put a sign saying closed family matters. Emergency.
Jerome, when we were there last time, did she have like paper or whatnot where like we could just
Oh yeah.
write a sign, put
Of
it up
course.
there? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Cool. No detours necessary then. Yeah, I mean, whoever's willing to come with us, head there and see what we can find out. Rivas and I already took a look through, but Baron, you can do what you do, and anyone else who wants to come by, why not? I'll call Jim, have him meet us there, give him the scoop.
I'll be happy to.
Have him pick up a lock on its way.
All right. See everybody there.
So
And as-
Lily will leave with Ben.
And as Ben heads out, he texts Jim and says, buy a decent front door deadbolt lock and meet me at the forfeit here pawn shop.
Okay, so he sends you a thumbs up emoji. Now get ready. He actually knows where that place is already, so he knows exactly where you're going.
All right, yeah, make our way there.
Remus, are you doing anything in particular?
I was wondering. I was like, is there anything I could even do to help with this? I don't think I have any. Can't throw Dogecoin and like hope that a clue appears, and I can't punch anything. So I think this might be outside of Remus's scope.
He has eyes. He might see something that everyone else missed.
That is true. I do have eyes.
You also have people.
Maybe you can smell something.
I was gonna say you can maybe smell for blood.
Yeah, I'll go along just because otherwise I'm just like I'm not gonna do anything. So yeah,
Sure.
I'll come along for now.
Okay. I wasn't sure if you had anything outside of, what you were wanting to do with the blood bank. Anything that you wanted to do in particular.
I think in this moment, no. He still really wants to get a new place to live, but he's also making sure that his family is taken care of. And like my piano lessons that we've talked about are going on as but yeah, I think if none of that stuff is like pressing, or if none of that stuff is like something I need to do like right this evening, then I could probably tag on for a little bit at
Sure.
least.
Okay, no problem. All right. Well, then everybody congregates eventually to forfeit here. The pawn shop still showing closed. Obviously, it's evening time. We'll say it's about 10 at night right now. The bar, right across the way, still kind of loud. Clearly the house music being played a bit too loud. So as the door opens up and closes, you can occasionally hear, some sort of loud country music coming out.
Did anyone look at security footage from the club?
From the club across the way?
I mean,
I don't think we really thought it was important because we were told she walked away from the pawn shop.
well, but was there anyone with her?
Apparently not.
Not
Yeah.
that we were informed of. And it
Mr.
was. Go ahead.
Yeah, Mr. Vidius, he had his animals watching the area because he knows that some interesting characters come here from time to time, and so he keeps tabs. And he's the one who said she just up and walked out, put the closed sign in the window, locked the door, got in her car, and drove off.
Huh.
Like,
Lily's
there's
actually going. Oh, sorry, hen.
Go for it.
Lily's going to look to see if there's any odd animals hanging about.
Oh, okay. Give me perception and alertness. Difficulty 6.
Three.
Okay. Nothing odd per se, but you do see 2 pigeons sitting up on a street light, not too far away, overlooking the parking lot.
Were they here last time, Ben?
Looks up. Oh yeah. He waves, gives a thumbs up to the pigeons. Those are probably his.
They don't do much of anything except sort of fluff, a little bit, as pigeons are wont to do.
I wonder what other parts of town he's watching.
Everything.
Everything.
He's a
Quite a-
Nosferatu.
And
He's-
is this person? Because I don't think I've met them. Is this person an ally? Is this a problem? Like,
No, so far he's an ally. He's
Reaver just
given us
kind of looks up and goes, "Good question. I seem to have said that earlier."
we don't know. We've never met him face to face. We've just done jobs for him.
he hasn't done anything against us. And heck, Remus, he's right up your alley. He gave us a couple of jobs. The first job was to go find a wife beater and run him out of town. So we did with his help. Yeah, he controls a lot of animals. That's his thing. That's like his network.
you've never met this person?
He doesn't want to be met. We know that he's Nos. I mean, maybe you remember from Ben's memories, he mentioned that this guy used to be in Las Vegas, but obviously he's still around. Didn't die in that siege or whatever. So he's hanging around Ashland, and so far he's on the up and up.
Would you
So
like
far.
to make a roll, Remus?
Yeah. Is this somebody that I? Is this somebody that like that Benedict would have known?
Entirely possible. Give me a wits and investigation check.
Okay, and
I,
Reveal card catalog.
I feel so out of place.
at a pawn shop.
No, this thing itches,
We could talk to
and
his,
I'm wearing blue jeans.
well,
You
what's-
look great.
What's the difficulty, Jerome?
Difficulty 6.
Okay,
We can talk to him.
that's
Routine.
3 successes.
Okay.
2 8s and a 6.
So you know a couple of things from somebody by the name of Mr. Vidius.
Okay.
That he was a Nos. He did reside in Las Vegas. And he was the only other individual in the city that was as paranoid of meeting people as you were. Because Benedict, well, let's just say your other half, when you were another half, if you recall, Benedict didn't like interacting with people. He always did it through intermediaries. Mr.
Yes.
Vidius did pretty much the same thing.
Okay. Was he like? So I'm guessing he and Benedict never met.
No, they never physically met.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. But
The closest you came is you had intermediaries meet at an Elysium at one point.
okay. But we were on good terms. Like he
I
was
mean,
not
as
like
good terms as Camarilla vampires could be. Sometimes he would be, sometimes he played the foil because he would help out anarchs. Yeah, in fact, the only time he never seemed to work against you was when it came to the Giovanni or it came to the Sabat.
Interesting. Okay. Because I just wanted to make sure like this isn't the guy that I owed like 50 gold bars to, and now
No.
he's come to collect. Okay.
No, nothing like that.
He'll
No,
just send his
it was
mountain
never-
lion.
It was never anything like you owed boons to him or he owed boons to you or anything like that. It was, you guys were always just sneaky guys in the background doing something in the city,
playing the longest game of telephone ever.
pretty much. And every so often, your pawn might meet his pawn and go, "Oh, you work for him. Okay. Well, what we need to figure some sort of code out. That's
Okay.
as good as it got. You guys never physically met. He was always somewhere in the shadows, much like you were, with the exception, your shadows were obviously much more high class.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because I was wondering if this guy would be somebody that either Benedict knew already, or if this would be somebody that like we would want to bring on like into the fold.
Oh, you definitely knew of him, yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, most of the time you had direct interaction with him was always through intermediaries. Literally, your people talk to his people.
Okay.
The only thing different really is that he actually used people.
And now he's using.
Animals.
Okay. Okay, cool. I am writing this down. I'll kind of look up at the pigeons, and I'll give like kind of like a little head nod.
Okay, they kind of bluffed a little bit again too.
Okay.
So that Ben goes ahead, and if we're not already in, he goes ahead and does his thing to open the front door because the alarms are cut. That shouldn't activate. So just jimmy that lock, get inside.
Okay, I'm not gonna make you roll for it. I mean, you get back inside without too much of a problem.
Turn on the lights and all that. All right. So as you can see, Revis did a great job making sure the security
back one
system wouldn't bother us. As he points to like a place where cords have been like hacked, like bam, like just cut. So that's taken care of for now. But
You might want to work on putting the sign up first before we get distracted and someone calls and says, "Hey, the pawn shop's open. There's people there."
sure, I'll work on making that sign. It'll just take me a minute. Baron, if you want to head wherever you want and do your thing, check things out. She's got an upstairs and downstairs. Upstairs is where she lives.
Okay. Now for this to work, the clearest, I need things that haven't really been manhandled since.
Should
so
be
I
plenty
don't
of
know-
that upstairs.
Okay. I don't know how much of this you all.
We
moved
really
around.
didn't. We just kind of searched the lower level and looked
Yeah.
upstairs, and
You
really,
might want to. You might want to check the phone first. I know Revis had to touch it to look at the phone numbers, but maybe you get some of Shannon because she was on the phone.
The cell phone or?
No, the landline here. It's one of those cordless ones, but it's land.
Okay.
One of the old ones. I remember those.
I forget. Is the ghost here?
I've
the
got
one
him
that's in
with
the
me.
hatchet that he's got that we found.
He's in the pocket.
He's with me.
Okay.
This is his fetter as he holds up like the hatchet.
Is there any way we can talk to the ghost?
We did actually.
I have been, yeah, but it's not like he can easily talk to people. It takes a lot of effort for him to do it. So we ask him a few questions. He's got to rest for a long time.
I've never attempted to use telepathy on a ghost. Do you think that would work better?
Always give it a try.
Maybe here, hold on to the fetter. Maybe that'll help things. And he hands the hatchet to you.
Hatchet?
Yeah.
So, Jerome, while they're doing that, I'm just going to have a look around.
Sure.
Do you want me to roll?
What are you looking for?
Anything that looks out of place?
Nothing appears to have been touched since you were last in here.
Well, yeah, it's been a while since she's been in there.
Yeah, it just, I mean, everything is still on the shelves. There's nothing, must. There's nothing knocked over accidentally.
What came of researching the phone numbers, Jerome?
Nothing as of yet. It hasn't come back yet.
Okay, just wanted to make sure.
So Ben hands over the hatchet to
Sure.
the Baron, and then he goes to make the sign to put in the window. Like,
Sure.
we'll
And
be
as
back in a
you're
few
putting up
minutes.
the sign, you see Jim showing up.
Sweet.
He just kind of,
Open the door.
waves.
Yeah, I'll
He
let
just
him
threw
in.
on some clothing. He's got like a flannel with a white, a white shirt underneath, some beat up denim jeans, and steel toed boots.
Great.
And Remus, you recognize Jim?
Do I recognize Jim too?
Yes.
Does he recognize me?
There was no way he could recognize you. You all had the same face.
Not the same.
Wait,
other things.
wait, hold on. Is it like I was just thinking about that guy? Like, I'm not joking. Like 5 seconds ago, I was like, man, that was a really great time when we tricked that dude by having the same face. It's that guy.
It's that guy.
Oh boy, I'm so happy.
Yep. So he comes, waves as he comes walking up, and he's got he hasn't opened it yet, but he's got like the lock and the key combo and whatnot, and he's just looking around and just kind of nods to people there, and he says, "Okay, well, I've got what you need, boss. Did need me to grab some tools and install it on the door?"
Well, if you're willing, and after that, well, Shannon isn't here, and we're looking for her. So I'm hoping you can watch the shop and maybe actually run the shop a bit. I know it's kind of all of a sudden, but you think it's something you could do?
I mean, if you want me to, it's going to tie me up for a big chunk of the day, but I mean, I could.
Was there something else you were dealing with during the day, or I'm not sure what your job
not
situation is.
Really. My job right now it's complicated. That's what I've changed it to on my Facebook status.
That's a good way to put it. You know what? You're probably going to keep it like that for a long time.
Yeah.
So if you're willing to change out the lock here while we're here, and then manage the shop, just follow the hours. I'm assuming that like the hours she has them like on her
Yeah, yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, just follow those hours and.
So you want me making like business deals here too, like Pawn Stars? Oh, hey, that could actually be kind of cool.
You know what? Yeah, I mean, if you want to watch that stuff and figure out how that works and get that done, that'd be great.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Let me go in the back. I'm sure she's got something. If not, somebody put it up on Hawk. I'll get some tools and I'll get it installed.
Great.
I think Remus is like, as soon as he sees this guy, it's just been like the whole time, just like, never thought I would see him again.
Sophie's gonna catch that look and just be like.
So Ben's gonna see these looks here, and he's gonna go, something going on? That's Jim, my ghoul. Is that a problem?
Where did you find him?
Oh, he was in Medford. This is back when I was trying to find out the Bridget Laurent case, and he was actually they were going to get hitched, he and Bridget Laurent, but then whatever happened, and so I had to handle that with him. Yeah, he has been through a lot. He's had mental issues where he like hears women's voices and stuff. He's going to Dr. Prester, and he's on meds now, so it's a little better. But he's an independent ghoul.
Wonder if that some of that is our fault.
Later we might tell you a little story.
But, you know Jim or something?
Not here.
Oh. Right. Got it. Okay.
Another time.
Sure. Yes, if you want to do your voodoo that you do, go for it. We won't touch anything.
Okay, yeah. So if anyone finds something that they think is suspicious, don't touch it. Just give me a shout, okay? So should I start with the phone?
Yeah, go for it.
That was the thing that caught us was the phone and the numbers on it. So that might have
the notepad.
And that's
so
and the notepad too.
You're attempting to do shoot, I forget what it's called again.
Spirit's Touch.
Thank you, Spirit's Touch.
Yeah, Spirit's Touch on. Should I do the phone or the notepad?
The phone.
I would guess they're about the same at this point.
I will.
She wrote on the notepad and listened with the phone. So.
Okay, then I'll try the phone first.
Okay.
Four successes.
Uno momento, 4 flavors.
So glad Jim is back.
Jim is back. Back again.
I was hearing the I need a hero. He's gotta be strong and he's gotta be weird.
And you got how many successes again?
4.
4. Okay, so So you get the mental impression of you basically get you get the person's name plus some other pieces of info. So you obviously know that Shannon was the last person to use the phone.
Right.
You also know that the last call that she received was the last time that she was here. You also know from the from the reading basically that you kind of gave the object that there was a brief moment of fear before she was compliant.
Compliant?
Yes.
Okay, so from the phone, the only thing that you don't already know is I feel she had like a little spike of fear and then compliance.
That
So the phone
kind of
call.
went along with what we suspected was that
She was summoned.
in some way someone's will was impressed upon her. We weren't sure what the method was, but the way her actions were described to us by Mr. Vidius was not normal, and that she broke her routine and left things behind that she wouldn't have. So we were relatively sure that it wasn't voluntary, and would just kind of confirm it.
Okay, do you know if she packed a bag?
As far as we can tell from what Mr. Vidius told us, is that she pretty much, if it wasn't required for her to go out the door, she left it behind. The axe, I think Ben noticed something else that he thought she would have taken. I don't remember what it was. Maybe he does. But if it wasn't directly involved in closing the shop and leaving, she ignored it. Oh, she didn't pack clothes. That was the thing Ben picked up on.
Right.
All of her stuff was here. There was nothing taken for overnight.
Okay.
That was what Ben picked up on.
Yeah, she's
Sounds
been
like
gone
a-
for a bit.
Sounds like a summoning.
Yeah, she's been gone for a couple days now.
Can you summon someone over the phone?
I didn't think
never
you needed
tried
to do that. I don't know that, but I've heard other Bruja and whatnot who have gotten that good with that. I thought you could just do it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not even sure if they have to hear their voice or not.
I mean, usually no. I don't think you can dominate over the phone either. But I mean, have any of you tried to summon her?
I don't have that yet. I haven't been focusing on
Do you
that.
you need to try, or Remus?
If either of you can do that, I'm not going to
If
stop
she
you.
if she is under a summoning and now entranced in some form, you will engage in a contest of wills with whoever holds her in thrall.
How long does a summoning last?
The summoning is probably over with, but the purpose of the summoning was probably to get her within reach of a skill or ability that allows them to hold her in thrall until whatever purpose that they wanted her for is done with.
I just have this feeling that she came into contact with somebody at the augury.
Well, she was off by herself. None of us escorted her, so that's not necessarily anything that did not take place.
Did you? Did we have Damaris look for her using her scribe?
Not yet. No.
Not yet.
Yeah, I would hold off on the summoning thing because, like I said, if she's enthralled by another at this point, that's a willpower battle, and you guys will know who you're fighting with. You will have a good idea of who you're battling with wills over for her.
And also, as I understand, if she's physically incapable of coming, then that could just damage her. So, okay, we can maybe see about doing that later. I'm gonna go upstairs, see if any of her personal things look or
And
feel.
don't forget, you wanted to see if you could talk to Doogie. You've got the hatchet, so maybe he can confirm or deny some of the things you're wondering.
That's true. That's true. Okay, so Jerome, I think I'll do aura perception, see if I can see the ghost.
Okay. I ain't afraid of no ghost.
Ooh.
Remember, it's difficulty 8.
Oh. 2, 4, 3. 3 successes.
Ooh, nice. At a difficulty 8. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, you can spot this disembodied sort of aura hovering somewhere near the hatchet.
Can I see what his emotional state is?
Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking about that. So I'm going to go ahead and play it.
Emotional damage.
So, yeah. So, a bit nervous, from what you can tell, and impatient.
Okay, I'm gonna attempt to use telepathy on the ghost.
All right.
What's difficulty?
Be difficulty of telepathy.
What?
What? Would be the difficulty of telepathy. So in this case, difficulty subject current willpower. So 7.
Okay. 4.
Nice.
Okay.
You're rolling for me if I have to make a check.
This is
Yeah, she's hot today.
good at.
So I mean, you feel a connection to no one who's apparently physically present, which is very discerning.
I'm going to say.
Oh, actually, in the surface thoughts you get is someone dying very brutally. You don't recognize the person.
I'm guessing it's Doogie. Doogie, this is Sophie.
So
Is this?
you basically give the mental impression.
Yeah.
Okay. So you get like a big question mark, appearing in your head. Because remember, it's conveyed through images.
And I'll say, can you tell me who was on the phone with Shannon?
He through so many images he conveys. No, he has no idea who she spoke to.
We probably did.
But someone showed up right after the phone call.
Does he have a mental image of that person?
Yeah. The person looks like Christopher Walken. Of course, Dougie has no idea, which is funny. Everybody keeps calling him Doogie. But Dougie, yeah, it's actually Dougie. But Dougie has no idea who this guy is. He just projects the image of, what the guy looks like.
Can I ask him to kind of replay that exchange?
What he remembers?
Yeah.
So, guy, came in right after the phone call. Walked right up to the register right after she got off the phone. Told her to come with. And she basically just said, okay, and then just walked right on out. And he didn't walk. The guy who looked like Christopher Walken sort of like waltzed and danced his way out.
Such a weirdo.
I'm just immediately thinking of that music video of Fat Boy Slim.
Fat Boy Slim, yep.
Yeah.
Weapons
He's
of
trying
choice.
not to attract the worm.
And conflicts with what the birds saw.
Okay, so this is still nothing new.
Well,
And then of course she went to her car and drove away.
Because the birds, Mr. Vidis's people, birds, animals, whatever was used, never saw him go in, never saw him come out.
So he was obfuscated.
Maybe it's
Oh,
the spirit.
okay. Was there? Did you get a license plate, or did you notice a license plate?
Well, we know she left in her car, but so if no one from Mr. Vidis's entourage saw him enter, and no one saw him leave, they're not going to know anything about a vehicle being involved because apparently they're not seeing him.
And so Dougie gives you the impression of like he's shaking his head. He's got no idea, and he because his fetter was left here, he wasn't going to venture far from it.
Yeah,
Of course.
So do you recognize this individual? Is it someone we should know?
The mental image I got is Christopher Walken, who is an actor.
Like that's who he looked like.
Yeah, and he didn't walk. He was kind of dancing.
Jerome, I have a question. I was looking up the rules for summoning because I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, does for summoning, because it based on what I read in the book, it sounds like you can just summon them. You don't have to make like a phone call.
Right.
Like, okay.
Yeah, it's a direct connection via force of will. You can't communicate through it. It's just kind of like you send off this presence radar, and when it pings whoever it is that you're trying to summon, in essence, they just get this overwhelming urge of like, I've got to go here.
Okay, so whoever did this was probably not summoning, because why would they bother with the phone call?
Right.
It must be some other kind of okay. I'll tell everybody that. Like, summoning doesn't need a phone call, so whatever this is, like, it's something different from that exactly.
Yeah,
There are.
Did she say anything? I mean, did he can't remember the conversation that the two of them had?
You did repeat it. I don't know if he said that the guy said, follow me, or no, come with me. And
that was it.
that was it. And then he danced out, literally danced out.
Be curious.
Okay.
Then Dougie at this point
Went in the car with her.
Dougie at this point asks you, have you talked to TikTok?
Have I talked to? No. Is he here?
So you get the impression that TikTok hangs out at the bar next door.
We need to go check out the bar. There's a ghost there that I need to see.
I will burst into flames if I have to go into a country bar, so I will stay here.
All right.
I'm not dressed to go into a country bar either.
Do you want me to come with you, Baron?
Sure.
I'll stay here.
I will hand the axe to Ben.
Okay.
Thank you. Pass it away.
And I will
Weird.
take Remus and go to the bar and use my aura perception.
Okay. Kind of like dipping your hand into a large petri dish.
Is that what it's like going into a country bar? I've never been in one.
No, just if you have the ability to look at emotion and you're just randomly looking around in a bar, can you imagine what that would look like?
Yeah.
Just like, oh, wow. That's overwhelming.
1, 2,
Especially
3,
if Country Roads is playing.
5, 6, 7 successes.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Brittany's on fire.
So Sophie, at this point, if there's been anything that you've had to do many times since you became a Toreador and figured out that you could look at auras, it was aura perception. It was probably the one thing that gave you any sort of an advantage in a conversation or to tell you, tips of, what to watch for. So as skilled as you are, you walk in, the front of that bar, and of course it's, Don't Break My Heart, My Achy Breaky Heart. They just currently playing, over the sound system.
Classic stuff.
Yeah. And then, and you're looking around, and it's again a sea of emotion. That because you're very skilled at this point in time, takes you very little time to comb through. Your mind and eyesight kind of going over, all the individuals you can just skip because, you go, okay, that person's saying that. And then you eventually find the shape. And it's a lone individual sitting in the back on top of the jukebox.
It's Fonzie.
His leg folded very proper, as far as you could tell from a semi-distorted emotional image. Emotional damage.
Okay.
Booyah!
Should we? I don't know if you told me any of this.
Okay, he's on top of the jukebox. I remember him as being very friendly, kind of a formal, intellectual kind of person. So I don't know what, I mean, I guess he must feed on the kind of energy that happens here, but I'm going to try and get him to maybe come outside where it's a little bit quieter so we can talk.
Okay.
I don't know. I didn't deal with him in this form, so it's going to be a little tricky, I guess.
Wait, you knew them before they were a jukebox ghost?
I met him before on his territory. So yeah, okay. I will go up to the jukebox and just kind of wave.
Okay, so you wave, and so the shape kind of looks at you and hops down and proceeds to move like it's speaking to you.
And I'm gonna
And then does like one of these numbers.
Dag nabbit.
Right. Yeah.
I'll say I'd like to talk with you outside where it's a little quieter. If you'll follow me.
So you see it. You see the image, motion with two hands to let you go first.
Okay, then I will head back outside of the bar.
Okay.
Should we bring him over to the pawn shop?
Don't know he'll travel that far. Don't know what he's tied to.
We could ask him.
That's true. Let's see if I have his real name.
Are we having any issues with like the people at the bar? Like everybody's being cool.
Nope. It's just a typical country bar. People, they're drinking. There's some people throwing darts. Otherwise, they're just kind of there to themselves or just enjoying the music.
Okay. I wasn't sure like if we were.
No, it's not Roadhouse.
Well, no, I was wondering if like we were just running into issues because like Sophie is like a 10, like wandering through like if dudes were like.
I mean, there's definitely that. I mean, there's eyes on her, but no one is, jumping up and trying to do anything about it at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to because I had some ideas of in case like we needed to run interference.
Gotcha.
Appreciate that. I didn't even think about it.
Oh, how humble.
Maybe she's born.
Oh no!
She wasn't. Okay.
So you walk outside and
Yeah.
it eventually, comes, out into the front. You see the image make a motion like he's adjusting, his outfit or coat or something to look proper.
It's good to see you, so to speak. I'm glad to see that you're well.
So you see kind of an image, because you can see the basically the
Shape.
bodiless outline and whatnot. Holds his hand up, and then there's a motion, and then you hear testing. Can you hear me?
Oh, you can make your voice heard.
Oh, by Jove, it worked! Excellent! Good show, my dear!
So,
You're looking quite lovely.
Well, thank you. Are you able to move away from the bar into?
Oh, most
pawn shop?
certainly. I'm only here doing a bit of feeding. It's as much feeding as one could do in an American country bar.
Well, it's not my thing either, but it has its good points.
Might I make a request, since I haven't seen you in quite some time? As I understand it, your kind are very influential of, the living. Would it be too much to ask if you could perhaps make a proper English pub? I do so miss them.
A pub?
Oh, yes, of course. A proper English pub. I will do with an Irish one in a pinch, but I would prefer an English one.
I'm sure we could get that started.
Oh, excellent.
I really love that we found John Cleese in an achy breaky heart bar.
I'd like to introduce you to some friends. This is Remus.
Oh, well, hello, Remus. You're looking quite upright these days.
Can I hear him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if Sophie was just having this conversation with a nobody. I'll say, upright?
There was a bit of business where you had to dig yourself out.
Oh.
It made all the rounds.
Right. Yeah, no, I've changed a lot since then. But,
Oh, clearly.
Yeah, but I believe this is the first time we've spoken, but yeah, it's nice to meet you.
A pleasure to meet your acquaintance. And I must say, looking quite dapper, sir.
Oh, thank you.
I'm gonna move over to the pawn shop.
Okay. Oh, yes. The avoiding the appearance of evil. We don't wish to speak to the disembodied voice. It make you both look mentally deficient.
Well, that is a concern, but more. I don't love to repeat myself, so if we could have this conversation with the others as well, that would be.
I'll position myself so that way, like, it looks like Sophie's talking to
Okay.
me.
Sure.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, we're going to the medium's home and business, are we?"
Do you know her?
Oh, yes. She has run a number of scams in the past, run afoul of the the hierarchy, as you might assume.
Interesting.
And of course, the foolish and depraved seek her out because they have things that they wish their loved ones on this side to find out.
But you don't have any need for medium services.
Oh, heavens, no.
So I'll open the door to the pawn shop and
Oh, ladies first.
hold it. Okay. Then I will go first.
Remus, be a good chap and close the door behind us.
Of course.
So he enters next, and then you close it. Very good, sir. Thank you very much.
When they enter, does Ben hear
Yeah.
the ghost?
Yeah,
too?
you heard that.
He's like, hey, is that the ghost you were talking to?
Yeah.
Oh, and this must be Benjamin.
Hey there,
You-
ghost.
Oh, I see you have found the hatchet man. Oh, do keep to yourself, Dougie.
Everyone, this is Mr. TikTok, an old acquaintance of mine.
Edward Yates is the proper name. TikTok is the nickname I achieved because of my. Basically, he explains his what he did in life. He
He
fixed
was a
watches.
watchmaker.
Yep.
A watch repair guy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Pleasure, Ed. Great. Hey, do you have any idea what happened to Shannon, the lady who works here at the pawn shop?
Oh, yes, the medium. She ran into some fellow and left with him.
Okay.
I have not seen him before, but he looked like that chap from that movie, The Prophecy. I don't quite remember the actor's name. Just he spoke
Christopher
he
Walken.
spoke rather oddly.
So he can do what Henri does. That's what's going on, likely. And if he just said something to Shannon and she just followed him, then he can do what Remus does.
It's presence.
I was thinking dominate.
Presence would work fine. He could entrance just as easily, and it's easier on the person than dominate. Dominate makes them very robotic-like, and if he wants her for her skills, it's easier on the mind than.
Well, all he needs to do is dominate her to get her to where they're going, and then he can work on conditioning her from there.
Yeah, but conditioning is probably going to diminish her ability to be a medium, I would think.
I mean, we don't know exactly what they want her for just yet. But you were able. Could you tell if this person, who the actor person from The Prophecy, were they actually there? Were they corporeal, or were they?
Oh, do you mean were they on this plane or the other? No. They were quite physically enabled.
Okay.
Do you know if he was one of us?
That is a great question. I would assume so, given the very nature he had to mask what he was. But your kind seems to leave
Well, let us just say, as you feed, there are little shards that float around your aura.
Sophie, while you were over there, did you happen to notice if there was any security outside? Like cameras?
Oh, I didn't really look. Um,
Because if he's using obfuscate in some ways,
he would have
he'll
shown up on the
on the camera.
Well, but Edward, you were saying that, like, could you tell if this person who came were they
I do believe so, yes.
okay?
Yeah, he registered a similar aura, although, again, beyond that, I couldn't tell what individual he would be. He just looked like this actor. This was not the first time he had been here either.
It wasn't the first time.
No, heavens, no.
Do you remember how frequently had this person been here? Has it been a couple times in a couple months?
Benjamin.
I'm unaware of the frequency. Only that the individual has been here, I believe, 2 other times.
Her cameras.
Yeah. So, Jerome, are there cameras inside? Okay. So then, can I tell like where she has those recordings stored anywhere?
Yeah. In fact, when you searched her quote unquote home where she slept, the setup was in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jerome did mention it.
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay.
We just didn't
Yeah.
look at them because there was no indication anyone had been there that we were aware of at the time.
Well, better check that out then. So Ben heads upstairs to go look at that stuff.
Okay.
TikTok, did he, this person, when he was here previously, did he bring any items to sell?
I believe the first time he did, yes.
Is it still here?
I have no idea.
Do you know what it was?
He brought in a television.
Somewhat.
Television.
A TV.
A TV. A
Hmm.
kindred with a TV.
I mean, it could
I
be.
believe you call it a plasma screen. It seemed to be kind of valuable.
I'm going to look around and see if I can find one of those in the shop. Maybe
Okay. I mean, yeah, you do see that she has like 2.
Okay. Can I do spirits touch on?
Sure.
Those.
Go ahead. And Ben, as you go through, you open it up and start going through the security feed and whatnot, you can see, at least starting from the night she disappeared, there's a blank spot.
Okay.
Shock.
All right. Head back downstairs then.
One
Okay.
second on the TV.
Anything?
Blank spot.
And we're gonna have to see if they had cameras across the street, if any of them had a view here.
Yeah, we'll have to take a look. But then
I
we
got
have
one.
to convince them to let us see their camera footage.
Yeah, but you're good at that.
Have you run her plates?
No, haven't gone that far yet. I was trying to look through other avenues and have all the rest of you with your abilities take a look. But yeah, this is getting stranger and stranger by the minute.
So I'm going to ask the embarrassing question, Ben. What are the odds your ghoul was compromised and you didn't know it?
I mean, she's been a ghoul before. She's been around for years and years, so it's not like she's never interacted with anybody.
She was
Giovanni's.
Giovanni, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Maybe someone needs to ask the Giovanni under what conditions she vacated being their ghoul.
I think she told you, did she not?
Yeah, you guys already know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he
Yeah, that
was killed.
Yeah, the previous Giovanni she bit the dust apparently, and so Shannon was on her own. But because of how the Giovanni handled things, they don't like to leave loose ends. So we made a trade, and she's my ghoul now. They washed their hands of her, according to them.
She also kind of runs a ghoul network.
Well, she doesn't run the network. She's just
Well, no,
part
but
of it.
she's deeply part of it.
Independent Ghoul Network, that's where Anzio's gets a lot of their blood supply.
Oh,
Yeah,
would
what's
that
her
be
name?
that Dixie woman? I've seen her on
Dixie.
occasion.
Right.
Oh,
So
that's the sneaky clandestine vials that they were passing around. Oh, quite interesting.
So she was a Giovanni Ghoul that they let go. You made us trade, and they willingly washed their hands of it. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that scenario. Not a bit.
Edward, I have a question. When this person came by in these other instances that you saw, were they friendly? Was it like it did they, or did it seem like Shannon was in distress when they appeared?
So, I mean, he replies and says, I don't recall seeing anything of that nature. No, of course not.
Okay.
But then again, I
Oh.
wasn't aware I needed to watch her in that nature.
Oh no, I understand, but it was more like, if you'd seen them before and you heard, like, bottles being smashed against the wall,
Oh, heavens,
you would
no,
have
no, no, no,
noticed
of
it.
course not.
Okay.
If anything, it seems like the individual came in and. Do you refer to it as pawning? Is that the. Okay, yes. So then they brought in items to pawn.
Okay. Do you remember the other items aside from the TV?
No, of course not.
No. Okay.
Okay, so I got one success on the TV.
Yeah, you don't pick up anything on the TV.
Can I try the other TV?
I'm just going to let you know, you're not picking up anything from the TVs.
Okay.
That way you don't waste time making,
Been
more
too
rolls for
long.
nothing. Yeah.
I wish there was a way that we could know what the conversation on the phone was.
Well, but the guy came in.
I know, but she got a phone call first.
Did
I don't
we
think that
can we
mattered.
check the
The
phone
guy's
records?
the one who made her move.
Right.
She just
but,
happened to be on the phone at the time. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Especially
but
if
she
this
had
guy's been there
fear.
before.
Do you have a way
What
to
scared her?
look at the
When
phone
The
records?
guy.
when the guy came in.
No, she was afraid at the time of the phone call.
Well, yeah, but if she
Which
was
is at the
on the
same
phone
time
when
that
the guy came in.
I'm guessing he called and said, "I'm coming for you."
Do
At
we
the
know
same
that?
time that he arrived?
He would have
That
been
doesn't make any
outside,
sense.
so he'd have been the next person in through the door.
I'm sorry, what
Yeah,
were you saying,
I-
George?
I was going to say, do we know that the phone call and the person coming in, did they coincide at all, or were
They were minutes apart, literally minutes apart.
Well, but like, do we know that, or is that just conjecture?
No, that's because of the timeline that was just relayed to us. The phone call and her leaving, according to what we saw, took minutes. She closed the shop, did what she needed to do, and walked out. We didn't know there was a cause for that until we were told by the ghost that there
Wow,
was
but-
an actual causative factor that we were ignorant of.
Yeah, but we didn't even know that there was a person there until a little
Right.
while ago.
Yes. And if you listen to what he said, it was in conjunction with the phone call.
So Ben is going to text Mr. Vidius and say, "What's up with the lack of info? You said, or rather, you never mentioned the dude Shannon left with."
Okay,
Sense
so
that.
you get a text back with a bunch of question marks. Dude that she left with?
We got confirmation from ghost friends in the area that someone made her leave with him and even went in her car. Sent.
You mentioned dancing.
So then he sends a text back. Then it could be some sort of way to hide themselves to a degree that animals can't even see them.
Ask him
Kind
if
of
he
level
knew.
of obfuscation.
Needing to rethink my pigeon friends.
Yeah.
Ask him if he knows anybody who would, knowing that they're invisible, would dance their way out of a store.
Do you one better? So he sends. Do you know any vampires who look like Christopher Walken and dance like him in the area? That's the description of the guy.
Okay. He says no, but if we think that this person is kindred, that would likely make them Malkavian or Toreador.
Yeah, Malkavian is what came to mind.
Yeah, same here.
I feel like we had something with Christopher Walken come up previously, but like maybe did Henri use his?
I don't
I'm
think
pretty
so.
su-
No.
I'm pretty sure he's President Trudeau is the one that his go-to.
Yeah,
Yeah, and the Baron.
Yep.
yeah, he's more old school. It might have been a different game when we were talking about Christopher Walken.
It could have been.
Do we know any Malkavians in the city?
I'm not entirely sure I've met one.
We're not too sure who's all in the city right now. That's what we're trying to rectify.
So then he sends you another text and says, "Do you have ideas?" Only one Malkavian that I know of, and he doesn't dance.
Says, who's that?
He says Egon Iomi.
He's Malkavian? Oh wait, I'm not party to
And
this.
so he goes, hey, so apparently Egon is Malkavian. Are Malkavians tight knit? Anybody know?
Actually, somehow that doesn't surprise me.
The ones that I've encountered, they kind of have, I don't know if you call it a network, but it's like they have a different kind of sense.
They like to share the same reality.
Yeah.
It's like they know things about things in each other.
Yeah, that's their whole thing, apparently. Well, Baron, you have Egon as a contact. Can you call him up and see if he knows anyone who fits that description?
Oh, he would not call on the phone, but I can send a message to.
Yeah, whatever you can do.
You guys were considering that this might be tied into the auction that Shannon was at. Was there anybody there who you remembered, like maybe dancing or like just being weird or look like Christopher Walken?
The augury was off and off weird from the word go. Dancing would have been something we would have ignored for being blasé.
And there was dancing there.
Yeah, and it wasn't by anything we would call kindred. Some of the make-believe races were present.
Make believe what?
It's everyone is there. Like, think of a type of vampires, werewolves, other things you've never heard of before, probably there. Yeah, and they got money to burn, apparently. We got that 50 million in gems like it was nothing, and it was all there amongst a bunch of them.
And
It's a big old market.
I don't know
Maybe-
if this means anything, but just FYI, cash is generally not the way that they pay for things there.
Do you want me to call the guy that we sold the stone to and see if he knows of anybody who matches the description?
Wouldn't hurt.
Who did you sell the stone to?
A guy named Hugo.
A very, very influential person in the market.
Yeah. So maybe.
And he commented on Shannon,
Yeah.
and she wandered the market unescorted. So if you were discerning and paying attention, it probably would not have been too hard to figure out what she was.
What did he say about her?
commented on her talent because she had the ghost present and somehow he picked up on it?
He's a mage, I do believe.
Yeah,
A
we
mage like Colin. Colin's not actually a mage.
Yeah, I don't know, but he was able to see
Huh.
the magical properties, I guess, of the stone.
he had specialists that he came in, but he did pick up on the stone being special without having to use specialists. So he was a talented whatever.
Okay, so as soon as Jerome gets back, I'll have her text him.
Is he going to be willing to give up his like contacts or?
Don't know.
I would say no unless you have a couple million to spend.
Yeah, he's probably going to ask, "What's it worth to you?"
And he was very generous with what's the word I want to use here? He acted without permission when they went to get the stone out of the car. And so that's how Trish got the vehicle, because he apologized and gave her the vehicle as a means for making amends. So you have to remember when dealing with him, he is very polite and he takes infractions seriously.
So Lily's just going to give Ben her phone so he can do the texting because she's like not always so good with dealing with people. She don't want to say the wrong thing again.
All right. So go ahead and find Hugo's number on her phone and text him, "Hey, this is Ben through Lily's phone. Met when we exchanged the big black rock. Have some questions if you don't mind. Send."
Okay. So you get a message back. What kind of questions?
Looking for someone who interacted with my associate Shannon. You remember she was the medium. She is missing, and we're trying to find the person who took her with them. And I send that. See what he says.
Okay. He sends a message back. It sounds like you need some form of a tracker.
Possibly. But before we go that route, do you know anyone who, yes, it's strange, but looks like Christopher Walken, dances like him, and might be kindred? Send.
Okay. So the next message is presumably other than Christopher Walken. No, I do not know of any individual who purposely shares his face.
And then it says, do you know anyone who seemed to show a liking towards Shannon that you're aware of? She was by herself for a bit while we were there.
He says no.
Okay.
I mean, the Midnight Augury, the trading grounds themselves carry any number of individuals. I don't keep tabs on everyone.
Okay. Fair enough. You mentioned Tracker. Do you happen to know anybody who's good?
I do for a price. Something you would negotiate with that individual, not with me.
I'll get back to you if we need that. Thanks for your help. So he's like, yeah, so he's not sure. Again, yeah, it's a who's who and what's what at the augury, so it's not like he picked on anybody who was there, who was weird or looked like the guy we're looking for. But he apparently knows at least one person who could track, but for a price. I haven't asked for details yet. Let's see what we can find out here first.
Why don't you use your detective background? Take one of them with you and tell them that you're working on a missing person case, because we are. and see if they have any cameras that give a view over here.
Actually, Lily, that's a good idea. Make it a missing person case. And then you can really use your police contact.
Also, look up the license plate to a bolo.
That opens up some very nice angles by making a missing persons case, which we can easily
Well, she didn't
follow.
even take her ID with her, so her license and stuff should be here.
Yeah, my worry though is that if a kindred did take her, like making this like a
public thing.
I'm worried about the eyeballs on it. Is there any way we can keep this?
Well, yeah, just Ben saying that he's working on a missing persons case. We do it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I could go next door, see if they're willing to let me take a quick look at the footage, see if they still have it from a few nights ago, or a few days ago.
Gosh, I hope so.
And Jerome, I would like to contact Egon. How is it that he prefers to be contacted these days?
You have worked your way up to burner phone.
Does he use a voice call, or should I text him?
You would actually place a text message.
Okay, so I'll text him. Wait, and so how encoded do I need to make it?
Well, you know how to encode. So the more
I know how to encode.
The more the better.
Okay.
You know enough by now that if you don't encode it somehow, he's either not going to reply or it's really going to bother him.
Okay,
he
I
takes
can
that part very seriously.
Google translate it into Swahili or something, and then also use one of those alphabet codes.
Oh wow! Okay, why don't you give me since you're having to do it on the fly, give me wits and I think technology is on their sheets.
Yeah.
Okay. That's not going to go well.
Would you like to burn a willpower?
Sure.
It's gonna be really funny when Shannon just comes back and she's just like, "Oh, I'm back from my bed and breakfast, visiting my ex-husband."
And that ends up with 0 successes, including the willpower.
Okay.
Does that mean you rolled a 1?
I rolled a 1 and I got no successes, so that cancels out the willpower.
The auto success. Yes,
that's what I assumed when you said none.
So you are you obviously haven't sent the message. You are having a devil of a time finding a way to code this in a way to protect him and protect you. The only other thing you could do at this point would be to just text him a time and a date and have somebody use the SATSCRAM.
Okay. Can I make it an hour from now?
Yeah.
Okay. Then I will do that. I'll give him the time and today, an hour from now, and indicate to use the machine.
Okay. Do you keep it vague though, right? You just say machine or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is just Brittany not really understanding the technology that we were using.
No, that's fine.
Because
honestly, Sophie wouldn't really understand it either.
Yeah. And I'll say, I need to run home and grab something real quick. I'll be back.
Okay. All right.
And I will
Revisit.
and then bring it here.
Someone should probably not let her go unescorted.
Sophie, I could go with you if I don't think I'm going to be much use here. I don't really know. I'm not a detective. No, I like wasn't even thinking about that.
Uh-huh.
Because
He needs
I
his
don't.
fix.
But he is now.
Yeah, now I'm like, oh, abs.
Yeah, whoever wants to come with me,
Yeah,
will.
I'm just gonna
that's
stick with
not right.
not going off by herself.
Sure.
Well, I will stay here with Jim, and then you two can go across the street.
But that means I have to take my floofy shirt off and go in with just a t-shirt on, because it's a country
Well-
western bar and not. I will give you my floofy shirt.
Fire, burn, ears bleed.
You don't have to go into the. You can stay here. That's not a problem. I don't even need anyone with me technically. If you, I'm gonna go. I'll be back in a few minutes. I'll be back. So you start
She'll
sending.
give him a little quick kiss. Good luck, honey.
Okay.
I'll
So those of you
follow
on-
him behind. I won't go in. I'll
That's
just
fine.
sit outside.
So those of you going back to Sophie's place. So Sophie, you pull up, and Remus may not remember this, but as Sophie pulls up to her house, her door automatically opens for her.
Brand new.
It's magic.
What's magic?
The door.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, that can't be secure.
Yeah, I'll just go right in and go straight to the machine and
Okay.
like unplug it or whatever.
So
And
so you're setting up at this point, and of course Cuddles comes up, and is like, "Oh, hello, mommy, you're home early. Oh, and I see you've brought a Remus."
Remus, you remember Cuddles?
Yeah. How you doing, Cuddles?
And he says, "Does he understand me, or do I need to like mime?"
Oh, actually, I didn't think about that. Remus, can you understand him?
Is he talking?
Do you have feral whispers?
No.
Okay. I mean, you would hear him meowing. That's
Yeah.
okay.
Well, like when Sophie talks to him, is it like is she meowing to him, or is it like kind
No,
of like
she's
when you see
talking.
like okay,
She's
yeah,
talking.
so it's like when a normal cat lady talks to their cat.
That's what it looks like. Yes.
Okay.
Without the craziness.
Right.
Yeah, what do you mean without?
Failure.
Yeah, no, I remember Cuddles, but yeah, no, I can't understand him.
He's like, "Mommy, would you please be a dear and teach the poor gangrel how to actually speak to animals? He's already supposed to." Good grief!
I'm gonna pet his head.
And
I'll
he's like,
say-
and so as he pets, he's like, "Oh, it would seem he's actually done something about his rough hands. Please pay him my compliments."
I'll say he really likes it when you scratch right here.
Okay. No. Yeah.
Okay.
As I pack up the thing so that I can take it back to the pawn shop.
Oh, okay. So you're picking up the Satsgram and bringing. Okay.
Wait, how big is it?
It's case size. It's like
Okay.
it's like bringing it's like bringing an old school large typewriter.
Oh yeah, I
Louise,
can take that back to the store.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
What is this thing?
Yeah, so apparently Egon is Malkavian, and this explains a lot about my interactions with him.
Oh, are you speaking about your teacher?
Yes, did you know he was Malkavian?
Well, of course.
Wait, is Egon the one that like that they ran into during the when the train museum burnt down?
Yes. Yes, and he is full-on conspiracy theory paranoid.
Oh, okay.
The hoops that I have to jump through in order to contact him are ridiculous.
And
Hence this contraption.
this machine is your decoder ring to get in
Yes.
contact with him.
Oh, good grief! He's equating this device to a decoder ring.
Aw, Cuddles likes to talk today, and I'm like rubbing his sides, doing the thing with the back to get the
Okay.
butt up.
It's like, oh well, I guess I can forgive him his ignorance this time.
Okay, so I pack the thing up, and then we'll just kiss Cuddles on the head, and then head back out.
Okay. He's like,
the real Cuddles.
travel safe, mummy.
Keep it real, Cuddles. Watch the house.
And so he kind of looks for a second and then just holds up his paw. So you do that, and he does this.
Yeah. You need to get that cat on TikTok.
Oh, don't even start. That's what we need.
Did I do that right, mommy? I believe he was requiring what you would call a fist bump.
Yes, very good.
No, right. Thank you. Drive safe.
All right, out we go. Back to the car. We'll take the thing back to the pawn shop. and
Okay.
set it up there.
Jerome, while everybody's gone, it's just her and Jim.
Mhm.
She wants to reach out to the security company that she used for her place in Henri's to get some quotes on how to fix this.
To basically put in a new security
Mm-hmm.
lock. Okay. I mean, it's the middle of the night. So you're not going to reach anybody
Yeah.
right now for that.
No, but she
But
can
somebody
put
will
it
call
out
you
there.
back.
Okay.
And also, while they're gone, Ben's going to go across the street and see if he can talk to like bartender or the manager there and be like, it's not a missing person case, the person next door, see if he can take a quick look at any camera footage they've got of the outside to see if he can catch anything for the day
Sure.
in question.
Why don't you give me a charisma and subterfuge check? Oops.
I'll just throw my dice everywhere. That's cool.
Thrown dice are automatic 10s, by the way.
Oh, sweet. Well,
That's true. Dropped dice are also. We talked about earlier.
Play your cards
Good luck
right.
with those.
right.
You live to talk about it.
Okay. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 4 successes.
Okay. So after some schmoozing or whatever have you, the bartender gives the okay, and some, one of the somebody comes back and watches the bar for the time being. And when they take you back to look at the footage from that night, there's also a blank spot. And of course, he's like, okay, yeah, I guess maybe there was some technical difficulties or something.
How long is the blank spot? Does it like perfectly encapsulate the time that the dude would have been there, or is it just kind of a random amount of time it happens to be there?
No, it's roughly that window.
Okay. So Ben's like, yeah, strange. Well, all right. Appreciate the help. You take care. And he just heads out.
Okay.
He goes back to Forfeitier.
And then as you were coming back to the pawn shop, Ben, you end up getting a text message from Detective Rumbus.
Okay. What does it say?
It's the notice indicates that the individual that they're looking for which there is, of course, a police sketch of Lily. He tells you this is about to go live, in about 2 hours or so.
Okay. He'll text back. Before that happens, can I meet you at Pantheon to go over some things?
Gives you a thumbs up.
Okay. Meet you there in 20 minutes.
Okay.
So then he heads into Forfeit here, walks up to Lily, goes, okay, so across the way, they have the same blank spot and the same amount of time that's here. So something weird's going on. Like, it's able to affect cameras or something ahead of time or after the fact and nobody knows, which is strange. And I actually just got a text from Detective Rumbus. The information about you and all that is going to go public in like a couple of hours, so I'm going to meet with them at Pantheon in
So
20 minutes.
probably not a good idea that I go with you.
Yeah, I'd say stay here. This is going to be me seeing if I can work my magic, because he's going to get an earful of things.
I have faith in you.
I appreciate it.
That'll give me some time to talk to Revis about a few things. Trying to figure out this mystery.
All right. Let the others know what I'm doing. I'll see you in a bit.
Okay.
And by the time you're coming back and you've had your conversations and whatnot, within 10 more minutes or so of that conversation, Sophie and Remus come walking back in with this, clunky looking, almost like box typewriter thing, but it's got like one of those long wire antennas that are wrapped around it.
Oh, a pawn shop item. Looks pretty unique. Let me make a deal with it.
No, I need to keep hold of this. But I'll set it up in the back room so that it's not like visible from the windows and stuff.
Sure.
Did Shannon take her cell phone?
No.
She didn't take anything.
Oh, like she didn't have it in her pocket when she left or anything like that?
No, it was on the table when we got here. Actually, it was upstairs on the table.
Yeah, she left her ID and everything.
With her purse and everything sitting upstairs in her room.
I just wanted to check to see if she had it with her, because then maybe we could use like a
triangulation,
GPS or something to try and track her down. But if she doesn't have it, then
Revis, since you've been around for a while and you have some knowledge of the other clans, do you know of any disciplines that can interfere with electronics?
I would phrase my answer this way, and it's not. So, out of character, Jerome, during the brief time when I was up to about the 60s, within the time frame of like the 50s to the 60s, I wouldn't have seen anything like that to my recollection. I'm pretty sure I know where this is coming from. It would not be anything I would associate with a kindred, I guess is what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay, so my response to you would be in character. It's nothing that I know any kindred is capable of doing. Because Revis already has his own suspicions, but he would have to actually go and research them before he would ever say anything.
I just can't figure this out. I mean, if there was nothing on there, then I would say La Sombra. But
Revis is going to repeat what he said. I don't think it's any kindred's abilities.
Yeah.
So it might be a Malkavian working with somebody who's not kindred. You can scramble electronics or something.
Well, the birds didn't even see him.
And all the times I've lived where electronics were present, I've not ever seen or heard anything like this.
Okay, so Sophie, you've got the box set up.
Okay, I will stand by until the meeting time.
Okay, so then you get a message, and it starts appearing on the screen.
Revis is going to start laughing.
And
$100 for the mean.
And the first message is, "Why are we talking on this?"
I'll say, I have some questions. Over.
So then it starts displaying, like, and when it displays, it's like one letter at a time. And it's that old like calculator type relay sort of thing.
Does it seem like the relay associated with the old fashioned typewriters, the heavy ones, where you get that click and then another click every time you hit the key?
Oh yeah. When she responds, yeah. Because she has to hand type it in.
Do you want to play a game?
Actually, if you've seen the movie Spies Like Us, they use one towards the end.
I don't know if I've seen that.
If you haven't, you need to. It's a great movie.
Spies Like Us?
Oh yes, Spies Like Us, classic '80s movie.
Steve Martin.
Nope. Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Any combination of those people.
And in fact, that's where Detective Rumbus came from.
Oh, really?
Yep. Colonel Rumbus. So the message comes through again. Be quick.
Okay, so I will type back. Looking for a ghoul. Looking for a ghoul who left under mysterious circumstances. Video footage wiped.
Remotely.
How do I say? Accomplice possibly obfuscated. Person or appearing like Christopher Walken. Any ideas? Question mark.
So it starts spitting out, a response. It sounds like a kindred skilled in counterintelligence.
Did you mention Malkavian? Presumed Malkavian? Would that make things easier? Or would that narrow it down?
I don't want to offend him, so I'm just going to say...
Well, do you want to mention that he dances instead of walks?
Do you know of any in town?
Yeah.
Question mark.
So you're asking if he knows any kindred skilled in counterintelligence in town?
Yes.
Okay, I want to clarify how you're phrasing that question. Okay.
Or does it sound like anyone you know of in town?
Okay, and the respond, spits out, and every time that there's a response, again, it's a very clunky, like a kind of reading across, and it prints down to this little, print that she can pull out and kind of look. It's almost like those receipt machines, but it prints in small print.
It's like a dot matrix printer.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Because it's from the 80s.
Yeah.
This is old. This is seriously old
spy tech. So
This machine might actually be older than Sophie.
it
Has no
probably
onboard
is.
memory, so it can't be. Yeah, I understand why he chose it.
So, so the message says, so you said, do you know any in town? I'm trying to read it. So how did you phrase your question again?
I would like to go with the rephrasing of, does it sound like anyone in town that you know of?
So the response comes back and says, I do not know of anyone individually outside of myself. However, this is not uncommon of the Black Hand.
So he's going to slam a fist on the table.
You okay there?
She will show him the message.
Emotional
Do I know what the
damage.
Black Hand is? Have we dealt with them before?
Do you say that out loud?
What, me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
No, you and her are the only ones who've seen it so far. All the rest of us have not looked at the message. That's why.
Black Hand. Yeah, they're the ones that took Damaris.
Oh.
Crap.
I will write back. Thanks. If you hear of anything along those lines, please let me know.
Okay, so the response comes back, I won't.
You said this guy's your teacher?
He's a acquired taste.
What does he teach you?
Yet to acquire. Movement of the mind.
Right.
Telepathy.
Okay. Have you tried the telepathy thing on?
Telekinesis.
Okay.
Telekinesis.
Have you tried to can you do the telepathy thing with Shannon if you don't know where she is, or?
It's got a physical range, and also I don't think I've tried speaking with anyone that I don't know where they are. Have I? Actually, you know what? Let's give that a try. Jerome, I'm going to attempt to connect minds with Doug because I don't know where he is right now.
Okay.
And I'm reasonably familiar with him.
I will tell you, you will fail.
I will what?
You will fail.
Fail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it works that way.
Okay.
I think they have to be within range, and I have to sort of know where they are.
I guess it does sound like we really need Damaris on this one.
Yeah, same thing with astral projection. I mean, I would have to metaphysically canvas the same way that I would physically, except it's just a little bit faster.
Jerome, when we were, did we fight against the Black Hand down in Portland?
Not directly, no.
Okay.
They were not there when we were in battle.
Because I wasn't sure if they were amongst the people that we were fighting that in. Okay.
Yeah, no, they were not.
They were involved, but they were not present during the fight.
Okay.
They were conspicuously not there.
Oh.
Well, it can't be Bastion because it seems like he likes to leave notes.
I will go ahead and text Ben and say, Egon thinks it sounds like the Black Hand. Via counterintelligence.
Okay. And Jerome,
Yes.
I might be just a moron here, not asking this ahead of time or
Okay.
forgetting this detail.
Mm-hmm.
The time frame when Shannon left and when those holes in the video feeds are, is that during the day or at night?
That's a good question. No, these were all in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is a good dumb question.
Yeah. Like, oh. Okay. So he gets that message, and he texts back. How do you figure? Can the Black Hand mess with cameras?
I'll text back. I don't know how counterintelligence works.
Well, I'm not sure how to track Black Hand. That's a whole new ball game. Send.
I'll reply, just so we have a healthy expectation of what we might be up against.
Fair point.
I think Shannon might be lost to us.
You know, I hate to say this, but if someone like that has her, then I think we can just assume that this shop is compromised.
Revis kind of looks at you and goes like, I assumed that from the beginning, no matter what the conditions were. Anyone who realizes what she is and pays any attention good enough to kidnap her and go unscathed initially, I'm sure they picked up on the fact that Ben would talk to her and had been there, and whoever else went to that location.
And then everything that she knows is also compromised.
It depends on the purpose. That's a key component here. If it's just to get to Ben, maybe not even relevant, because they've accomplished their goal. They don't need anything else. If they wanted to be mean-spirited or vindictive, the store wouldn't even be there. Burn it down.
Yeah, they
with
would
her
have.
inside. So I'm assuming they want her for her talents, or I don't see much purpose to this.
Does the Black Hand interested in like spirits and things like this?
It's outside my expertise.
Yeah.
I might ask Damaris.
And Sophie, you get a text message
From?
the Dawn.
Oh, what does it say?
Wanted to give you a heads up. The body count is up to 2 now. So we should probably have a chat.
The Dawn meaning Malcolm?
Yes.
What body count?
The sucked dry body count.
Oh. Oh. Well, that matches in what we just learned.
Please elaborate.
Okay, so
Maybe I'll just call him.
yeah, that's about to say. You get a call. So you call, and he says, "Keep in mind that these are, we're on a cellular phone, but our people have indicated that another body has turned up.
Where? Who? When?
the who is not really relevant at this point. They're in the morgue right now, and they've already conducted the autopsy. There are a lot of eyes down there now.
No, I mean, is it someone, is it just a random person, or is it a person that we should know?
I don't think that this is anybody that anyone knows.
Okay.
It is from our perspective, as in like you and I, it looks like feeding gone wrong. However, the individual who was potentially tied to the first one is apparently tied to the second.
I think there has to be a staging involved here.
I don't know who, what, why, or when, where that's regards. I'm just simply giving you a heads up that this is getting a little out of control. And there's only so much we can do to keep that from going public. From what we understand, it sounds like it's about to become a deal. So I don't know how you want to handle your friend, but you might want to make it fast.
Can we get into the morgue?
Why would you need to get into the morgue?
To conduct our own investigation and see how this new person might be connected to the first one.
I can afford to let one of you in. I take it this is going to be you?
I don't know. I need to talk to my people.
Well, you've got about an hour and a half to decide, so let me know.
Okay, thanks.
And he hangs up.
Is Ben back? Or is
Yeah.
he
No, he's not
Or
going
no,
to
yeah,
be
that's
back
right.
for a while.
Ben is heading over to Pantheon Investigations. Bum bum bum. Yeah, so I mean, you get there.
He's going to be dealing with the detective.
Jay right now is currently playing Galaga.
Walks up like, hard at work, eh?
There's not a whole lot coming in right now, boss.
Yeah, I hear ya. I'm surprised for being kept afloat. But anyway, yeah, so heads up, we're going to have Detective Rumbus come in just a few minutes. I'm going to be talking to him in the other room. Hold all calls. You know, if any happen to come in, nobody else is coming into the building. Put up a closed sign for as long as the detective's here. Yeah, it's going to be an in-depth conversation with him.
Okay. Well, I will hang up the Do Not Disturb sign and we'll take it from there.
Great.
Jerome, I'm going to go off camera for about 2 minutes. I need to do something.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
So Ben goes ahead and waits for the detective to arrive.
And he does, within a couple minutes after that conversation. Comes in, he's got his coat looking pretty ragged. He's been busy in the past 48 hours going to and fro.
Okay. Detective, glad you can make it. Looks like you've been pretty busy.
That's an understatement, yes.
I'll step in my office. We'll have our talk here. He opens the door, ushers him in, closes it behind him. Have a seat. All right. And so then Ben sits down next to him and goes, so, I know you're a straight shooter. You're a good guy. You know what you're doing. You're one of the good ones when it comes to the boys in blue. I've been there. It's been a while, but I get how it works, and not everyone's on the up and up, and I know you've got to deal with that too. Every department's got a few, at least, some more than others. But beyond just being a good cop and being a good guy, I know you know what you're doing. And I know that with what you've been dealing with, especially probably recently, you got a lot of questions and not a lot of answers that make sense are coming up. Is this making sense so far?
I would say yes. The first time I've had not one but two bodies come up that are missing most of their blood with no apparent means.
Two, not just one. Okay. Interesting. Right. Well, I mean, you've been in town for, what, at least a few years? I mean, how long have you been in Ashland anyway?
I've been in Ashland now for 5 years.
5 years. And I'm betting you've run into plenty of situations that were strange, weren't able to connect dots the way you could have, maybe more cold cases than you'd like.
You could say that.
You ever wondered why it just started happening? Why all these strange things are taking place?
Is this the conversation where you're going to tell me that the X-Files are real?
He laughs nervously.
You're a funny guy. You're a funny guy. But I think your instincts are kicking in there when you didn't even realize it. But it's not something as kooky or, like what you see on TV, the X-Files. No. No, but I guess to a degree you could call me a type of agent, but it's for a group that's not going to make sense to you right now. But I need it to make sense because this town has stuff going on. I think you've kind of understood that for a while, but it's not like you could connect any of the dots. You weren't made aware of certain strange things that happen.
And I take it you're going to explain this to me.
I am, but at the same time, I got to make you aware that there's stuff in town that's dangerous. Like more than what you realize. We're talking more than just cartels and more than just the occasional psycho, and homicide. We're talking strange things. And I want you to be aware of this because it's dangerous. I know you're a cop and you're already accustomed to being a part of that, and you have a family, don't you? You mentioned that before. You take care of them, you provide. Well, I want you to make sure that they're safe too, and I want you to be safe. And I think you're going to need something in order to make sure. But I want you to be aware we're on the same team here. I'd like to bring you into this fold, so to speak. And, well, tell you what. And he goes behind, he makes sure that he goes behind his own desk to make sure that there's like that buffer kind of, between him and the detective. And he takes a pen and he clicks it like, now, you're fine. And I'm fine. This is going to be surprising. But I need you to see what's going on so you get where I'm coming from. We're on the same team, and I'm your friend. You understand so far?
Sort of.
Okay. Well, I hope that's a strong sort of. And he puts his own hand on the table, and he takes the pen, and he jams the pen in his hand.
Take a lethal?
Yeah. Then he pulls it back out.
So he looks at that and he's like, so you're telling me you're a masochist?
He puts the pen down and he holds his hand in front of him and he says, Not exactly. And he goes ahead and he heals the wound in front of him. Spends the blood to do that.
Okay. So at this point, roll your manipulation and expression.
Okay. And I'll spend a willpower for obstacles.
Okay.
Can Lily confirm if Ben's a masochist or not?
He is. He because he's lacking the abs, so that's where the aggression comes from.
Okay.
You guys have some unique ways of creating ghouls, I got to tell you.
What was the difficulty again?
Just difficulty 6.
Okay. Okay. Then a total of 2 successes.
Okay. So he looks at that a second. And of course, watches you heal it up. You're down at blood point too, as well.
Yeah.
And he says, "Okay. So, you worked a case with Century Media Studios. You have a neat parlor trick. What does this have to do with me?"
It's going to be tougher than that, huh? That's not a parlor trick. Tell you what. Grab something. Stab my hand. I need you to realize this is real.
Are you going to use presence like at all during this, or are you just going to wing it?
Well, he is already entranced by me.
Right, he is.
So I already have that. So like, I'm wondering if he's because I'd just have his attention, but I already have his attention.
Okay.
So I don't know that any other presence would make sense.
Okay. Alrighty. And so you want him to do what again?
I'm like, you grab something, stab me. Like you think it's a trick.
You want me to commit a crime to prove what exactly? That you need to be committed?
Show up your
I mean,
friends.
I always knew that you kept bizarre hours, but I figured that you were just a night person. This is more 5150.
All right. You know what? I can't waste my time like this. How about this? And so he will go ahead then at this point and spend, yeah, that takes a blood. He'll spend a blood and he will try to use awe.
Okay.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 successes. Or no, 5 successes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
11, 12. Yep. Yep. So he goes ahead and does awe. That clearly gets him.
Oh, yeah.
And then he goes, look, I need you to believe me. I need you to get that I am not human. And you are. Take something and stab my hand so that you get it. Because if you're not getting it, you could be killed one night. And so could your family. And I'm trying to prevent that from happening. You gonna do it or not?
I believe you believe that, but okay. So he picks up a letter opener.
Okay.
And he just, plunges it into your chest.
All right. So I'm standing there like,
I love that he needed to use awe to get him to stab him.
It is so good the setting's not there for this. I don't think he'd stop laughing.
So, long story short, obviously at this point he's, starting to get blown away that his, preconceived notions and whatnot. He thinks you're more like an X-Man than anything.
But I take it you're going to ghoul him.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the point.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Well,
to get him to
he's-
show this.
At
and
this
then-
point, he's fully under your control in the sense of presence. Like, so
Okay.
as far as suggestions are concerned, so long as you don't openly just cut yourself, pour it into a cup, and say drink.
Mhm.
I mean, yeah, he would do it.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah, I of course, withdraw the letter opener, even like, raise my shirt, show that the wound is there and bleeding, and then,
Mhm.
heal that in front of him just to hammer it home.
Okay.
How many abs does Ben have?
Enough.
Roll a d4.
Oh,
Me or Ben?
I might have only one ab.
Oh no.
Hey, I rolled a 4. Congratulations.
Maximum abs. Okay. So, yeah, do that. And I'm like, so, you believe me at this point that I am not normal, at least?
Oh, you are clearly not normal. As
All
for
right.
the rest, it remains to be seen.
So, here's the thing. There's others like me. There's good ones, and there's bad ones. I've been helping you take care of some of the bad ones already.
Hmm.
That Friday the 13th thing, there is more to that than you get. It wasn't just the kid. There's other stuff happening. And I can't explain everything at once because it's a lot to go over. But there's something I can do for you that's going to make you more capable. That's going to make it so that if something like this happens to you, you got a chance of coming out of it, like what I just did. But at the same
Interesting.
time,
Is this some sort of supplement?
it's something I give you on a monthly basis. And
Give
it's
me
gonna,
how.
you drink it. It's a simple drink. I've got to make it, provide it to you, and you're going to feel its effects pretty much right away. I'll teach you how to use it, but that means I'm bringing you into the fold. If I ask you to do some certain things, which may sound strange, like especially with the police, you got to believe me that I'm doing this to make sure everyone's safe. Like, I'm hoping that I've shown so far with helping you out with different cases, we're on the level, and I'm doing this for Ashland. I want you and your family to be safe. I want me and mine to be safe. What do you say?
Well, how can I say no?
That's what I like to hear. All right. You stay here for a minute. I'm going to go get that drink and come back.
Okay.
So he leaves the office, closes the door, goes to another office, gets like a Dixie cup or, whatever cups we've got for like a water cooler, whatever. He's pouring his blood in. He pours like,
Red Bull is your friend.
if, like, as far as that goes, mixing the blood with something else, like an actual drink, does that mess with the blood?
Generally, no.
No, okay.
You can
Then yeah.
spike-
What's that?
You can spike it.
Right, kind of, yeah. So like, if
Jedi's
you
have many recipes for that. If you ask me about it, we can give you several very excellent formulas on it.
Just go with the
And
Bloody Mary.
maybe a suggestion or two on how to do that ghouling thing.
So he goes ahead and he mixes some sort of soda that they have on hand or whatever with a point of blood
Okay.
in a cup. And he brings
All right.
that in down the hatch,
And
pal.
have him drink it, and he will drink.
All right.
He will partake. Outside of that, did you have any other plans?
Once that happens to him, and I make sure that he doesn't freak out from the drink or anything,
Mm-hmm.
I go ahead and let him know. Let's see here. I let him know that we need to do something about the info that's going on in Ashland PD with regard to Lily and all of that. And I'm trying to make it ultimately so that, let's see, like, I want to make it so that he can perhaps mess with the records that they have, or get in touch with the forensics and alter the records or the reports that they've got going down to. And he wants information on whoever this second drained person is too.
Okay. I mean, he'll do whatever he can, without it being overt.
Okay.
Anything, requiring him to cover something up, unfortunately, that's going to be covert or overt.
Okay.
And that's going to be way more difficult at this point.
Okay. Yeah, whatever he can do.
But he can definitely get you the information on the person.
Yeah, exactly. And he'll let him know that Lily was involved, but he's probably going to be talking to a couple of witnesses that are going to have that angle that it's actually drugs that are involved.
New witnesses.
Yeah.
Okay. He will keep an eye out for these new witnesses and statements.
Okay. All right. So I thank him for his time. I'll be talking to him again soon, of course.
Okay.
And yeah, whenever he can get that info for the other person, just to let me know.
All right. Did anybody else have anything that they were wanting to do? Remus, Lily, Sophie?
I was going to inform Ben about the phone call from Malcolm.
Okay.
I thought if we had time, then we could touch base with everyone at Pantheon, but we can pick that up later if we want to.
The only thing I was going to do, Jerome, and it's not really horribly important, was I was going to make a connection with the where are they? The Southside Souls. That was it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Go visit wherever they were having one of their wingdings, spend a little money, find someone that I could, try and make a connection with. Use the goth side of that rather than.
Oh, sure. Okay. Are you going yourself, or are you bringing anybody else with you?
No, I would go myself. This is something that I'm working, and fortunately, I didn't watch. Was there to see Ben, and I'd be like, "Oh no! God, humanity makes that so much harder than it has to be." Anyhow, yeah, I just go there.
We can touch on that real quick then. You this is after the scene here at the pawn shop.
Mm-hmm.
Respectively, everybody's gone their separate ways, or wherever you might have gone. We, of course, can pick up the rest of it during the next game. The Southside Souls, from what you have heard, is that they were with the leader passing away. They have been trying to find somebody to help kind of guide the club and figure out what direction they want to go. And they've been having a series of parties as a means to not only get together, but also try to figure that
Mm-hmm.
piece out. And one of the parties you end up going to at this point, it's on the outskirts of town. It's actually not terribly far from the tomb where everything happened with at Lily's club. So it's in that kind of industrial section.
Mm-hmm.
They've got what appears to be like a warehouse they may have rented out. They've got 10 cars kind of lined up, all of them tricked out, with running lights and everything. And they've got a dozen chairs kind of sprawled out around. There's a van here that brought a lot of this in. There's live music playing. So it's kind of a cookout, get together, look at our cars, sort of thing. And as you come walking around and you're wading through the group, kind of feeling things out, seeing where, who's what and where. You're picking up on the fact that there's conversations around, who's going to eventually take over. But what you're hearing now is that the group has an outside investor who is the shoehorn to become the next leader.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's some way that Revis can figure out where he would fit in here.
So, does he get a description?
Actually, she's here. It's a I wouldn't say petite-looking woman, but not terribly tall. Probably in the 5'5" range. She is decked out in like black denim. She's got a leather coat. She has red hair that's kind of cut off on one side to layer over, that comes down to black tips.
Not any of the strange kindred I've seen before, because I've seen several strange females. No. The Bruja and the yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you don't recognize her as any of the vampires you've met. And she's with her is apparently a slightly overweight guy. Kind of keeps to himself. Dressed similarly though, but his coat isn't leather; it's denim. And they all have patches on the back of their coat that are indicative of like a club or an association of some kind. It's a big back patch.
It's not the MC group that I was familiar with.
No. It's definitely not the Jagged Guardians. And then next to him is another woman, a little bit whiter than you would expect, probably more European, straight European. And she just has kind of like long black hair pulled back to a ponytail. Also dressed similarly. The big back patch on the back is kind of like a blaze of flame kind of coming up. And then around the top, it says Upstarts.
Okay.
And you actually recognize the girl with the red hair with black tips.
As?
Roxy. She had been talking to Trish.
Oh, okay. So I work my way over. Eventually, I end up standing next to Roxy, and I go like, imagine meeting you here.
She turns and looks and says, I know, right? I was told that Ashland was kind of a place that I should check out, although I haven't had the opportunity to look at this Anzio's place that you and your people told me about. I've heard good things.
Anzio's is off limits at the moment because they're probably going to make the news soon.
Oh.
Not a good idea to go there. We're working on several other almost Elysium-type locations.
And so some of the other, folks that are around her, like, from the Southside Souls are kind of like, Elysium. They're like, what is he, like, Horus or something? And she's like, yeah, he's Norse or something.
I would just go, actually, no, it's a Caribbean term. It's okay.
So like, Caribbean, Norse, man, I was way off.
So are you behind this venture group? Because it was on the list of possibilities to look at, and if you're already dealing with it, then
Oh, the
I'll-
Southside Souls.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I've made some recent friends, and it looks like this is a worthy endeavor to invest in.
Okay. Then I'll move on to the next opportunity, and I'll let you pursue this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did I end up
Not at all.
blocking anything that you were?
No, not at all.
Oh.
There was a lot of other activities, and this got pushed down farther than it needed to be. And as long as someone worthy is dealing with this particular aspect of our society, then I'm quite content.
I appreciate your vote of confidence. And she, hands you a flyer. She says, "We're going to make things official at the next gathering. From what I understand, there's actually going to be some more cars here as well. That's something I'm really hoping for. So maybe you could come out to that as well."
I will make it a point to make sure that I attend. I always like showing support.
Well, good, as do I. And if anything works out with this other group, do let me know.
I will. And I hang around for a while, and then eventually, as I leave and I'm out of earshot, I'll just send a quick text over to the sweeper,
Okay.
and let him know that Roxy is taking kindred ownership of the Southside Souls in hand, and that endeavor appears to be covered, and that's all I have to transmit at this point.
And Ben will reply, "Noted. Thanks for the update."
Okay. And at that point, we're going to go ahead and stop for the day. We got almost 3.5 hours of gameplay in there.
Not bad
So
for a loose outline.
what's that?
Not bad for a loose outline.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I knew. See, that's the nice thing about the world building and whatnot. There's so much of it that I can kind of let you guys go and take care of stuff, and I don't always have to throw something out there. A lot of times, I can just supply you with the things that you need, and that's story enough.
Yep.
So next game coming up is next week. That is going to be the main Ashland by Night game on the 26th. Starting at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And the game after that will be on the 27th. That's our Marvel Superheroes game. That's going to be starting at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So we hope to see you guys there. Thank you to everyone for tuning in and watching. Davy Jones, as always, thank you very much. And we will catch the rest of you later. Good night, guys.
Bye.
All right.